overturn a stone for the second time, because for the second straight Cold Listen Hot Take, we are going to do a Bill Withers album. And we did his first album, Just the Way I Am, last time. And now we're going to do Still Bill from a year later, 1972. Matt's going to start us off on this one. But Matt, before you start us off, why don't you go ahead and run the numbers on Still Bill?
So this is Bill Withers' second highest rated album on Best Ever Albums, right behind Just As I Am, which was the other Bill Withers albums that we covered in a Cold Listen Hot Take. This comes in at number 707 in the 1970s, number 70 in 1972, and 3,949 overall, all this from Best Ever Albums. And on Rolling Stone's list, it comes in at number 333. And I will start off by saying that all of those rankings are way too low. I love Bill Withers. And he's somebody that I kind of just knew the hits or the stuff on the radio. I'll be honest, full disclosure, it's Lean on Me is such a one of the tracks on this album is such a prevalent track. It's like one of those quintessential songs that's just always, it's out there with Stand By Me, it's just always it's always in the ether somewhere. And I couldn't have told
There's
you
a trivia
that
question. Who sings Stand By Me?
Oh, not well, John Lennon covered it. I know that.
Yeah.
Is it
Benny
Everly
King.
Brothers?
No,
Ben E. King. Yep,
Benny
Ben E.
King.
King.
I did know that.
There you go.
And you know what? I think I knew that because that was on one of those commercials for like a compilation CD where like they had all the artists going across the thing, and it was like, oh,
all your favorite hits. Yeah.
Benny King sings "Stand By Me." I didn't know that till this commercial came on.
And then like Unchained Melody would come on after it by the Everly Brothers or something.
Yes.
Where they're sitting on the stools saying, wasn't that a great song?
Was it Freedom Rock? Turn it up, man.
Yeah.
Sorry, no, it's fine. And I don't think it was. I think, John, you let me know that Bill Withers did Lean on Me the last time we covered him because you brought that up. You're like, oh, you guys all know that.
Well, you said something like, I'm not sure I know any Bill Withers. I'm like, I'm pretty sure you know Lean on Me.
I know that.
So,
I do know Lean on Me, but that's one of those things. It's just like, these songs, there's all these songs out there that I totally know, and I could sing the chorus or maybe the whole song, and I'm just like, who sings that song? I don't know. I never, that never was something that I knew. But anyway, so you have that classic on here, which is still a great song. It's overplayed. They made a movie out of it with Morgan Freeman. I mean, that was like,
They used to call me Crazy Joe. Now they call me Batman.
We don't want a better teacher. Or better principal. We want Mr. Clark. Yeah, so it's still a great song, right? I never get sick of that song, but he is so good. This was such a fun record to listen to. There's a lot of different genres he's touching on. He's got the funk, the wah-wah guitar. I love the drumming in here. This has got that drumming style. It's kind of like a jazzy drumming style that does a lot of offbeats, a lot of hi-hat stuff, and it kind of gets into the funky grooves. And there's not a bad song on here, He's such a great singer. I'm trying to think. I think "Lean on Me" might be the only song. Oh, I've heard of "Use Me" before. That was the other song.
That's the other big single.
Yeah, that intro. I was like, oh, okay. I've certainly heard that before. I don't know where, if it was on a movie or commercial or just on the radio or whatever. But just throwing in a lot of things I love, like, the hand claps. Who is he? The third track, he throws in the hand claps and the tambourine at the same time, which was a cool little percussion part that he did. And it's just a fun record. It's just a feel good, nice. Again, I don't. You're probably going to tell me that the lyrics are. Well, "Lean on Me" is obviously a very positive lyrical song, but maybe there's some negative stuff going on here. But but musically, this is just hitting on all cylinders for me. I really like Bill Withers, and like one of his best songs isn't even on the two albums that we covered, which is "Lovely Day," which is just such another fantastic song. So, big thumbs up for me. Really glad we're covering these albums. I'm definitely going to be going back to them, in the coming many years to come. But this is a great find, and I think he's bridging a lot of these different genres, and he's just doing it so well with a lot of confidence. I think we talked about that the last time, how he's kind of coming to the game a little older, a little more mature. And I did look this up a little bit. He kind of fell off. He stopped doing albums like after 1978 or whatever. So I know he just died last year. So I don't know what happened. We're not really covering a bio on him. So I'm just, it's curious that he had such great music and and first of all, that it's rated so low, because this is probably my favorite album that we've done this entire this episode. I would say, and the fact that it's ranked so low compared to so many other things, I think is wrong. So
right.
Yeah, that's that. So I loved it. It's great.
Yeah, I know that I actually watched a bio on Bill Withers. I think I referenced that in the last Cold Listen Hot Take, and he actually became disillusioned with the industry itself and voluntarily pulled away from it. That's sort of what happened there. So if
was that because he got screwed over from record companies or something like that?
I don't think it was that. I think it was more just the record industry is superficial type deal, and you kind of have to constantly be inauthentic in his mind, and he's just like, because he came to it late, right? He came from like a blue collar background,
right.
and
He's
then
from
I
West
think
Virginia, right?
You got it. And he just went in and would record songs on the side, and then he recorded his first album at 33. And I think it was just by the time he hit early 40s, he was like, all right, I'm done this. I don't want to play this game anymore. That seemed to be what I thought. I don't know if it was any. I don't know enough to know if it was any one specific thing, but that was sort of how that documentary made it sound. I think another thing that's fascinating about this is, and this is by no means a knock at all, but I think it's very interesting how well-known Al Green is and how comparatively less well-known Bill Withers is, because did the Al Green album stand out as being so much more transcendent than these Bill Withers albums we covered, to the point where about, Matt would know Al Green as, and he described him as, and rightfully so, an integral part of the soul scene, but you rarely ever hear Bill Withers talked about that way.
I don't get it. I don't get it
either.
Al Green.
Well, and that's kind of what my take is. It's no knock on Al Green, but this is the second straight really top-tier album I've just listened to from Bill Withers. And it's fantastic. The number one thing that comes out in this is the mood that he sings from. He just comes from a cooler than cool place, but not in the Isaac Hayes, playing it cool way, more in just that he has a calmness and a coolness. Mm-hmm. And he writes love songs. You said, are the lyrics sad? Matt, not necessarily, because sometimes it's about being in a relationship and all going well and love being great. And sometimes it's about relationships ending and the relationships that come with that. And it's sad, but it's not, I'm devastated sad. It's more reflective sad, right? So it depends on whether you say, I don't want you on my mind, which is about no longer being in a relationship with someone and wanting to not, remember that because of the hurt. Do you think that's like devastatingly sad, or do you think that's part of the human experience? Get what I'm saying?
That wisdom really comes through in his songwriting and kind of his mood as well.
Mm-hmm. And even a song like Use Me, which you think would just be, it sounds like it would be a sex song, right? Use Me and stuff like that, but it isn't. I mean, it's kind of implied that that's one of the things that you can use him for, but in no way is it seedy. It's more use me in terms of, take a lot from me. I'm willing to give as much to you. You know what I mean? And under that current is an element of sex, right? But it's also, you could tell it's more than just that. It's about the whole, all that goes into a relationship you have with someone who you also are having sex with. And it's got that awesome fucking, bass line in it.
Yes.
So that it's like, I don't even know what the progression is. I wish I could have done some research, but it just repeats that bass signature, and it's just an awesome bass. It was one of the easiest. Well, what's going to be in our opening montage? Well, it's obviously going to be Use Me. It's going to be that. So. And it's been covered.
And the drumming's great. That offbeat drumming again is very prominent there. I love that drumming.
His drummer is the session guy, the real famous session guy. Who's, I think he's the guy who's the. Actually, let me cheat and look at Wikipedia. So I'll
also
James Gadsden.
Ray Parker Jr.'s on this album also.
Is he?
Oh, I didn't know that.
The Ghostbusters guy?
Yeah, he plays the guitar, I think, on this.
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I know.
It's a fun fact, Josh.
Yeah.
I definitely know James Gadsden's his drummer from that documentary, and also I know his sound, and he's a super famous session R&B drummer. Yeah.
Wait, Josh, did you lie?
Yeah, he's on the Stevie Wonder album.
Okay. I was gonna say I thought Bill Withers was the guitarist on this album. So yeah.
I will I'll check that right now. But
No worries.
pretty sure I was so excited to tell you guys that I forgot what that was on.
We'll get there.
Well,
don't
that's
worry.
still impressive. I would have been just as impressed on that as I am.
You know what
on
it
this,
is, John, too, about his writing? It's like he writes from a place where he's taken two steps back and he has perspective on it, as opposed to like being in it, like a lot of the songwriting is. And I think also the fact that he wrote the songs is a big component to why they sound so personal.
Absolutely.
He just sounds like a badass. Like he's just, he knows what's up. You feel like that's a guy you could go talk to about stuff, and he would just give you like great advice, or he would just he's got like some sort of wisdom,
He literally has a song called "Take It All In and Check It All Out." So if you want, if you want to kind of know like where he's coming from, but here's where I like to draw comparisons too, and I love both of these songs. But think about a song like "I Don't Want You on My Mind" and what it's talking about, and a song like "Without You," right, that we covered from Harry Nilsson. And there's a desperation and an urgency in the moment to that song, like you're just ravaged and wrecked. It's raw, right? Whereas "I Don't Want You on My Mind," you could tell there were similar experiences, but like Josh said, it's been processed, it's still there, but it comes from a spot where it's less emotional and it's the full picture at this point. It's a emotional, a cognitive, a systemic, it's the whole thing. And yeah.
That's a really interesting song musically too, because I picked up on there's some sort of off key or minor key thing going on. It's a whatever choice that he made there, musically. It's not what you would think should fit there, but it does. Like it's like this minor kind of key thing going on, and I thought that was interesting for that song as well.
And I'm going to kick to Josh in a second, but he's really good at that. Like "Lean on Me" has his soaring arrangement that goes with the idea of what "Lean on Me" is. It's this transcendent song, and it sounds anthemic because it's designed to be. It's all encompassing. Whereas "Use Me" has a little bit of that funk that lets you know it's his sexed up song, right? And it's a little bit more outside the box. "Kissing My Love" is more whimsical because it's a song that is designed to be more whimsical. Like you said, "I Don't Want You on My Mind." It's hard to explain what even that song sounds like, unlike some of the others. But it definitely, when you think about it as a breakup song and processing a breakup song, the musical choice totally makes sense. So he almost scores his music in the way that the lyric and the mood of the album is supposed to sound. "Lonely Town, Lonely Street" is another one at the beginning that sounds sparse and desolate at times, more him and a guitar at times. So yeah.
"I Don't Want You on My Mind" at the end is like it's like a jam band song. He kind of they're doing like this end up
blues,
jam
a little
thing.
bit bluesy too, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I no surprise, I really like this album as well. I think it's better than his first album. I'm surprised it's not his number one ranked album on Best Ever Albums, frankly. I feel like he really gained a confidence after his first album coming in this album. He seems more unrestrained or more confident in this album, and he's bringing in more elements. I guess thinking back to that first album, it sounds like it was more in kind of the singer-songwriter at the piano type of mode. And this, he's like bringing in a lot more funk and soul elements. He's bringing in all the awesome bass lines, which are not just on "Use Me," but throughout the entire album. And then he peppers in the different things, like Matt said, with the tambourine, and then there's horns on "Feels on Another Day." He's got a really awesome, I can't sing it, but he said, "Think about that." He says it at the lyric, like in the chorus or something. It's just like a great use and interesting way that he sings the lyrics in that. And to me, this album is really impressive. Like we've said, his songwriting is really on point. I think he was just kind of really masterful at arranging and working with the other musicians through what we hear and the way that he cobbles the songs together. And then he just has good twists on classic genre or tropes of, with the "Use Me," which is about a breakup or a bad relationship, and it just feels very fresh. And even listening to "Lean on Me" in the context of this album, that felt fresh to me, listening to it with all of his other songs, even though you've heard that song, many times on its own. So yeah, I thought this was great. Yeah, I think we did a good job of summing up.
Yeah.
This.
I think one of the things I really appreciate about the fact that we do these cold lists and hot takes, and I have to give a shout out here to the Rolling Stone list as well, is they are doing a great job of unearthing stuff that absolutely, whether it be the Jimmy Cliff album we just did, whether it be, Steely Dan, which was unrepresented outside of Asia, and then you kind of can't really tell the story of the 70s without a couple Steely Dan albums, and then we're going to talk later, but some bands that no matter how you feel about them or artists, Rod Stewart that we did before, the Eagles, it's hard to tell the story of music without some of these groups. And I'm glad we're covering them because I think it would be very incomplete if we weren't touching on some of these acts.
Yeah, this album being 707 in the 1970s on Best Ever Albums is criminal.
It also goes back to what I was saying about there was a period in time where rock critics were just not paying attention to all but specifically endorsed black artists and specifically endorsed female artists. And it was like there was an allotment and a quota of how many you were allowed to say were the ones, right, that were good. And then you just ignored everything that wasn't. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's been a big surprise. That's been a good discovery.
I don't think I'm terribly, because all the songs that I did know I really liked, but that was like a handful. That's like 4, maybe 5 songs. And so it's really nice to have all these other ones to complement them because they're all excellent. He's a phenomenal artist. Big thumbs up. Can't recommend it enough.
Nice. Any final thoughts, Josh? Or
no, I'm just nodding my head in agreement.
He's thinking. We got it.
It's coming across subliminally to our fans. Oh, hey, we've still got 2 more albums, guys, and
we do.
Probably along with the Steely Dan one, probably the one I am most looking forward to, not because of quality of album or anything, but just because I think this has a chance to be a very interesting